Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Curtis Stewart Anderson, Hurley Ayer Jr., Johnny Marvin Ayers, James Daniel Bailey, Walter Edward Barnes, Sam Festus Beach Jr., Kenneth Ray Belser, William B. Blackman Jr., Wayne Franklin Bolton, Charles Littleton Bradell, James Woodrow Brigham Jr., Billy Dean Brigman, Richard Belton Brockman, Patrick Earl Brower, Albert Lee Brown, Frank Harold Brown II, Robert Lansing Burrell, Daniel Cassano, Norman Lewis Cates, Donald Lee Cheney, Lloyd Thomas Christmas, William Keith Cogdell, David William Kuhn, David Arthur Cooper, Ronald Isaac Crody, Herbert Harold Crowder, Richard Thomas Culp, Daniel Terry Cummings, William Cutshaw, James Gregory Davis, Albert Jackson Davis, Roger Allen Dixon, John Lee Dabrowski, Salvador Radia Dulé, Willie Durant, Clarence Edward Ellis, Greg Benson Ellison, Herschel Lee Epps Jr., Daniel Kenneth Erlandson, Joseph Escamilla, James Essery, Edwin James Fickler, Richard Allen Fleming, Larry Fleming Jr., Raymond Patrick Flynn, Earl William Foster Jr., Barry Richard Franks, James Milan Gahagan, John Huey Gettings, Charles Jack Gerard, Edward Ralph Glenn Jr., Larry Jean Gray, Paul John Greenwood, Thurston A. Griffith Jr., Donald Allen Geerton, Warren Stewart Hall, Lawrence Theodore Hammond, Craig William Handley, James Arno Hardin, Lee Russell Harris, Charles Martin Hasper, Yvonne Andre Herbert, Dennis William Hippo, Rufus Weldon Hodges,
William Handsome House, Arlen Lewis Jackson, David Lee Jackson Jr., John Michael Jennings, Douglas Gary Jensen, Jimmy Joe Jett, Richard Sherwin Johnson, Charles Wesley Kelly, Kenton Don Knapp, Frank J. Krebs, Alva Ray Krogman, Robert John Coleman Jr., George Cortica, James Earl Lakins, Roger Leo Langford, James Dale Laser, Earl Leroy Layton, Victor Lopez, Malcolm Joseph Lyons, Anthony Philip Magistro, Juan Arturo Maldonado, Walter Wesley Martin, Stephen Woodthrop, Maine, Bruce C. Wright McFadden, Kenneth William Massell, Daniel Michael Medina, Richard Raphael Melody, Robert Henry Miller, Robert Henry Mirror, Mark David Mitchell, James Michael Montemayor, Ronald Forrest Neal, Jesse Ernest Nixon, Michael Francis Nolan Jr., Robert William O'Neill, Stephen Kent Odier, Grover Kennard Olson, Gary Neal Olzowski, Joseph Ray Ortiz, John Ortiz, Severino Audrey Ortiz, Otto John Ostenfeld, James Harvey Post Jr., Bruce Martin Reeder, Virgil Ray Rice, Joseph Ray Roberts, Jeffrey David Rupp, Stanley K. Rykachevsky, Edgar Joe Saffel Jr., James Michael Scherer, John George Schmid, Dale Clarence Schumer, Larry Stephen Semenuk, Joseph George Sirkovich, Winifred Albert Sheets, Terry Cleo Simison, Arthur Singleton, Donald Paul Sloat, Victor Arlen Smith, Perry Monroe Smith, Philip Edwin Smith Jr., Cecil Wayne Sutherland, Kenneth Allen Stewart, Ronald Lee Strumer,
David Arthur Sweet, Carl Ludwig Thompson, James Leo Thonin, Curtis Francis Thornton, Linwood Keaton Thornton, Joseph Stanley Tidwell, Victor Luis Torres, Jimmy Edward Trent, Mike Ralph Velasco, John Herbert Weaver, Robert Frederick Wilkie, Paul Josiah Wilson, Selwyn DeRoy Wisdom, Jeremy Robert Voitkevich, Frederick Joseph Wozniak, Gary Jean Wright, Charles Edge Wertenberger.